Okay, welcome to exercises 2, 3, and 4 from chapter 3. Let's jump right into 2. You see that there is a 2.00 SQ. That's a 2 square, 2 by 2 square. So let's use the polyline command. Okay, that's not there. Let's switch over to the, there we go. Polyline started a nice point here. Let's go 2 by 2 by 2 and then close it, hit enter. The reason I used a polyline is because I want to use the offset command. First specify the distance, so that's got a 0.2 wall thickness. Select the object and then the distance. So there's our first square. There's a couple different ways to get the square that's at a 45 degree to it. Here's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to use the copy command. Select the objects, hit enter. Specify the point to copy it from. Right here's fine. And let's just set this off to a side at an orthogonal 180 degree here. And it'll do as many as you want. Just hit enter to close the command. Now let's rotate our copied set of squares. Select the objects, hit enter. Specify the base point to copy it from. It could be any point, or to rotate it from, it could be any point. And then rotate angle is going to be 45 degrees. Okay, so it rotated it, but now it's not exactly where we want it to be. It's no longer at that 180. So let's move the object. Select the objects to move, hit enter. Move them from this point. And now we want it to be right in the center here, so let's turn on our snapping for midpoint. And let's snap right to that midpoint. And now to get the other, to move it to the right, we need another point of reference, so let's just draw a construction line coming right out of the midpoint of that set of squares. Let's enter our move command, select the objects, select the point of reference, and I'm going to select this top corner right here, and I want it to rest on this line over here that's coming out at a 90 degree angle. So, but you see we want it to snap right on that line. It's got to be exact. So there's two things we can use. We could use nearest, which selects a point on the line, on any line, nearest point, or just to be safe we can use perpendicular. And there we go. And now let's delete that construction line. Okay, for the next, the octagon that's going around the entire enclosure, we have a few points of reference that we can use, and it's going to be from any one of these corners. I can draw out a set of lines. Let's do from up here. We know that's going to go at a 90 degree angle. We're going to trim all this later, so let's just set in an arbitrary distance like 3, hit tab, and then we want that at 0 degrees. So we'll hit enter. Enter to close that command, enter to repeat the command. Start the line from here. Let's just go out an arbitrary amount, it doesn't even matter. Okay, 3, tab, at 180 degrees, hit enter. Enter to close that. And now we can offset that as a 0.2. It doesn't tell us it's a 0.2, but we could take out our rule and we could see that it's 0.2 just like the other ones. But also there's an economy of information going on, and when we're given the dimensions for one set of walls, we can assume it's the same for all unless we're told otherwise. So let's use the offset command. Specify the distance as 0.2, hit enter. Select the object to offset. Again, select the object to offset and hit enter. Okay, we're going to repeat that all the way around. So arbitrary distance and then the angle. Let's turn on our polar snapping to hit 45, so this will make this a lot easier. So now we're going to polar snap at every 45. There we go. And let's just complete doing that, and then we can go around and offset. I don't want that. There we go. Okay, let's offset the lines we just created. They're all going to be 0.2. And you can see the pictures starting to come together here. Okay, so at this point you could trim it up, and if you see the circle that's going around the octagon, it's not really a clear print. There's no information given on the circle. I believe it's a construction line showing us that the octagon is symmetrical and therefore creates bisected arcs, identical bisected arcs all the way around. If we want to put the circle in, it's not necessary, but we can do that. Let's snap to intersection. So turn off midpoint, turn off endpoint, turn on intersection, and turn off perpendicular. Okay, and so we can basically, I just selected a 2-point circle, and we can select this point and the corresponding point across there, and then there's our circle should we need it. Go ahead and put it in there. So outside of doing some trimming, select all. Okay, well, that's not working. Okay, and then make sure we get this right. few more. I think we can now, oh wait, one more here. Looks like I trimmed the wrong thing. That's fine, we'll come back and correct that. Okay, enter to close that command. Let's fix this error right here. Okay, now we can just come in, select some of the leftovers from the construction lines. That's going to create an error for me. I'll delete it anyway, come back and redraw it. Same with this one, I should have trimmed those. Okay, delete line, intersection to intersection, hit enter. Okay, so there's drawing 2. Oops. One more thing to trim here. Okay. Another thing to trim. Okay, that one's done, although I think I messed up right here. So let's use our line command with the intersect snap. And then trim command. And this one will go like that. Okay, now it's correct. So it's always good to look this over. You see I made 3 mistakes when I thought I was done, so I had to just always give it another once over and look over it all again. Okay. Alright, so moving on to number 2. I'm sorry, that was number 2. Moving on to number 3. Go with what you know. And you're given essentially we're given the radius of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different circles, plus 7, 8 larger circles that are using the tangent radius. And then for all of the rounds, we'll be using the fillet command. So it's not too difficult here, just to go with what you know and draw all these circles that you know. So we'll start here with the bottom circle, and that's at a diameter of 1.25. So it's asking me for my radius. My radius would be 0.75. Repeat that circle. Let's snap to the center. Oops, not the quadrant. So let's turn off quadrant snapping. Okay, from the center, we're given the larger radius is going to be 1.25. Okay, so that's the bottom set of circles, and we're given construction lines that give us the centers of the other circles. So that's a radius of 6 at a degree angle of 30 off the top. So if that's 90 minus 30, that'll be 60. Okay, there's the center of our next circles. Recent input circle. Let's snap to endpoint. And that's going to be a diameter of 1, a radius of 0.5. And then the larger circle again will be radius of 1.25. Okay. Another construction line to find the third set of circles. It's going to be the same as a radius of 6. And at a degree of 45. So if this is 90 and I want to go 45 more, that's 135. center of our next set of circles. Recent input, circle, snap to endpoint, diameter of 1, radius of 0.5, and again 1.25. Okay, now we have two tangent radius circles to draw. This first one here, select the inside tangents of those with a radius of 2.5. Select tangent radius again. Select on the outside of these two with a radius of, well, we know it's going to be 6 plus 0.5. That's 6.5. Okay. It's going to be 6 plus 1.25, because 1.25 is the radius of the outer circle, so that's 7.25. There we go. There's a line that connects right here. That's simply going to be a tangent line. So turn off center, turn on tangent, 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 hit enter. Okay, we're going to use the offset command because we're given a 0.75 wall thickness. Let's turn off our turn off some of these snaps we have. Tangent. Okay. Specify offset distance 0.75. Select the object. Okay. Okay, that'll do it for that. Now we simply need to close that command, enter into the fillet command. But now it says select first object or, and if you look down at the bottom, undo polyline radius, we want to type in radius and enter the radius for the fillet, and that's going to, it says rounds and fillets are radius 0.5. So do that, and then it's very simple. Hit enter to repeat the command. And I messed up here. I used our construction line as a, so let's just delete this. That's our construction line. Okay, delete that. Okay, so this is complete. Now we just simply need to use the trim command. Hit enter. Close that. Clean up our construction, our leftovers. And hit delete. Alright, so there's the third drawing. Now for the fourth and final drawing, start with what you know. And we know there's a diameter 1.5 circle. So radius 0.75. There's a larger circle from that same point with a radius of 3. Let's turn off our grid snap. We're given some more information here from the top quadrant of this circle. So let's get quadrant snapping on. At a radius of 3.25 and an angle of 30. So if this is 90, we need another 30. That's 120. There's a circle at that endpoint. And that is a diameter of 1.5, so radius of 0.75. And then another circle with a radius of 2. Okay. And then from this same quadrant right here, at a radius of 3.25 again, oops, undo that, a radius of 3.25 tab at 60 degrees. So we've got, it's showing me at 90 degrees here and 180 here. So I want 30 degrees down from 180, that's 150. Okay. At that endpoint there is a circle at a 0.75 and no other circle from that point. So we can, let's see here, this radius of 6. I'm looking. Okay, we can start with a tangent radius. Let's start with the large outside one between this circle and this circle at a radius of 6. There's our outside arc. And again with tangent radius from this circle to this circle, we know that's going to be 4. 4 would connect these 2 points with an additional radius of 0.75, so 4.75. Okay, and again for the other wall, select these 2 tangents, and that's going to be a radius of 4 minus 0.75, which would be 3.25. There we go. And then there is a fillet between this circle and this circle with a radius of 1. So let's select our fillet command. Now instead of selecting the objects, let's first enter our radius for the fillet command. And our radius will be 1. And then we select, there we go. And now, we're ready for trim command. Select all the objects, hit enter. Start cleaning it up. Not sure why it didn't trim the large outside circle. Let's try that again. There we go. And then delete the extra construction marks and get in here and get all of these This right here, if you don't think I'm joking about deleting these lines, imagine if you're designing a heart tube and you leave this line in here. The manufacturer manufactures this little line. 1,000,000 parts are made. The first 100 that go into the patient's heart, there's a recall. There's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and you're not going to get hired anywhere ever again. So delete those. Whoops. Looks like we need to use the trim command actually some more. And up here as well. There we go. Part complete. There it is. That's 2, 3, and 4. Using all the things we know, including circle command, line command. Now we've used polyline. We've used offset. Again with the tangent radius circles. Construction lines, and finally what's new in this chapter is fillets. Okay, see you on class on Monday.